Hi legends, welcome back. So, new day, the calipers are finally dried off. Finish is actually pretty nice too. Looks nice and crispy. Let's unwrap her. From afar, that looks absolutely cracker. Wicked. So I'm gonna rip off the rest of these. I'll give you a quick look and then we're off into the interior. Only a few more steps left. We're gonna remove the center console, change our window switch, change this whole assembly because the boot has come off and the button's broken. This wire underneath all this and then reassemble all this back together. We've got some fresh parts here. I'll show you guys this in a second. Let's cut to today and let's smash out the VY SS. Let's go. Alright legends, so with these typical Commodores, you've got this smelly gear button problem. What happens is the little clips on the side, they tend to break off and then it doesn't seat itself in there. There's a place here called Holden Parts. I actually found him on eBay. Oops, got a sticker too. That's wicked, bro. Love it. This button was $70 on its own. And this whole piece here, as a replacement, was $140. So this will be our new shifter. That looks so good. Looks really, really good. And as well, we've got a fresh window switch, straight out of China, boys. See, is it the same color? Do we get stitched up? Oh, yuck. Got stitched up, boys. Spewing. Absolutely spewing. Bro, what model is this supposed to be from? I don't know, is that going to stand out too much? Far out. In the photo it doesn't even... Oh, well, I guess it doesn't match up to the sides. God damn it. See all these listings, they light up red for these black switches. Alright, so I'm not too sure what we're going to do about the window switch. It might actually match this piece. You can see how this piece is not completely black, but it won't really blend into everything else too much. I don't know, we might run with it. Until then, let's remove this whole section here. Let's get this wire under the center console. Let's get our new shifter on and get ready to install our window switch. Let's get to it. 2 screws back here. Come here, buddy. The handbrake can stay. Now for this part, we just pry from here. And she should be ready to come off. Wicked. So before we go any further, we're going to vacuum up this area here. Get ready to change these trim panels to the Calais ones. So we'll do our Calais glove box, Calais on the side here, throw out the shit that we're not going to use, re-wipe the trims, and then we'll get ready to slap on our new Calais interior. Let's get to it. Now let's get to removing this side trim and underneath here so we can replace it with our Calais interior. Here are our fresh Calais trims. So this one will just pretty much just slide in and clip on the bottom there. Beautiful. Pop this back down. Now we'll do this side here. So we'll pretty much get our trim and then we'll just bolt it straight up to the points where it matches up here. We just want to hold it up while we're screwing it in, just to make sure that this line is flush up against the dash trim. Right, so there's our fresh suede. Got that nice Calais touch to the car now. An SS with a Calais touch. Beautiful. That's the driver's side. See, it's like a very subtle and discreet change, but that minute difference, like, in my opinion, makes a world of a difference. Breaks it up really nicely. All right, so I guess now we're gonna tidy up the center console, give it a clean. We've got all the parts laid out here. We're gonna throw out this one, give this a clean and tidy up, get ready for our new window switch, and yeah, retire these. But yeah, for now, let's run this wire underneath the carpet so we can give power to the passenger seat, because these from factory, VY SS, doesn't have any power to the passenger seat. All right, let's back this through. This is the steering wheel. Now, I've given it a wipe to get rid of all the gooey stuff on it, and it's like completely dried off here. I've spoken to a trimmer. We can get this re-trimmed and custom done for about $350. It should look pretty sick. We're gonna do a bit of a custom job. I'll show you guys when it's finished. We're also gonna try to repair these. They've got like this film on it, so we're gonna try to get this film off and give it a fresh lick of paint. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, until then, I've got a little idea with the window switch. Let's give this a try. Here's our factory window switch. I pulled off the blacks around, and we might do a little hybrid. There's our window switch. I'm thinking maybe we do that. We put the black cover on it. Let's give it a try and let's see how it looks. Pretty much just making the most with what we got, because it's really hard to find the black one with a green light on eBay. They all come at the red light. So let's give it a shot. So pretty much all that went wrong with this one was, if you guys see the side, the switch, it sits on a little plastic on the bottom here. Now the driver's one, that plastic broke. So the button has to be like sort of pushed down to be able to work. It's not the end of the world, but I don't want to have to sell the car like that. This one should work a shit ton better. All right, so here's our switch assembly. Now we'll just pop our old cover back on, give this a quick final wipe down, get rid of all the last little random dusties in there. There we go. I reckon we keep it like that. That's a mad little custom touch. I like it. Done, sold. I'm pretty satisfied with that custom finish. Wicked. So this will go in like this. We'll clip that puppy back in. She's in there. We'll get this cover back on. Beautiful. Bob's your uncle. Alright, now that we've got our fresh buttons in, let's put this center console back in and make sure everything is plugged up. Here's our center console all mounted up, but we found this little guy. This is to light up the pattern for your shifter, and this was just chilling here, so we might actually have to unbolt this again. But I'm going to run down, get a globe, unbolt this, whack it back in, and let's hope that that works. Sweet. So yeah, all right, I'll see you guys soon. Super cheap auto run, let's go. All right, so we're back. We got our T5 light, so this will be perfect. We're only going to use one. Tuck this guy in here, whichever way it goes in. There we go. Hopefully that works. Look at that. The quality of this looks absolutely amazing. So we'll pretty much just install this and reuse the factory screw, but everything else is pretty much set and tacked up. Beautiful. Sweet. Now, because we're getting the steering wheel re-trimmed, let's pull off this horn, let's pull off these caps, let's try give these a fresh lick of paint. They've got this film on it, so let's try to remove this. It's starting to rain, so let's quickly smash it out. There'll be two slots at the back of the steering wheel. Have to sort of turn it upwards to be able to get it. Put a flatty in there and just turn. Beautiful. Sweet. Bang. Sweet. Alright, so after all the wires are undone, 30mm socket straight in the middle. But the trick to it is loosen it a couple turns, yeah, and then smack it to loosen it up, and then get the rest of it off. Yep, that will come off. Cha-ching. Alright, let's see what happens when we apply a bit of heat to these. Let's see if maybe they start peeling. No, being plastic, it's lost its whole shape. I guess we're on a hunt for a new set of these. So we got the steering wheel stripped. Final touches now. Get rid of this thing. There we go. And the rest of these. See you later. So we taped up our clock spring just so we don't turn it the wrong way, and then we're up for a clock spring. We got our center console in, new shifter, new boot, window switches. They don't look too bad in there. Wires ran, just got to finish off this relay. I'll 1-2 detail the car, so at least I can buff the headlights, get them up semi-decent, chuck them up a marketplace. Someone might want SS headlights for $100. Might make up for all the other little extra stuff we're spending on the car, like the steering wheel and all that. I'm out of buffing compound. Literally just had to throw the bottle out. Here it is. So ready, checked, we're out. So we'll buy some buffing compound tomorrow, buy a fresh pad. We'll give this thing a wash. It's like 3:30 now. This pad is like done for, so we'll get a new pad too. We got all of our gear in the boot, just chilling. We ordered some new surrounds for here. They come in black. We'll just paint it with silver. Hopefully that'll be a decent silver, because at least Saturn, it's forgiving, but hopefully. Little quick one today, but yeah, it's 3:55 now. Even if I did have the buffing stuff, it'll get dark so soon, and then the neighbors will start complaining that I got the buffer out. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Back on the VY, buff it, swap the headlights. We'll see what happens with the front bar, because there is some scuffs here. I'm not too sure how that's going to come out after we buff it. It is deep. Someone's brush touched it before. It might not look too bad. Don't really want to waste money painting the bar. We'll see what happens. I'll buff it. I'll make my mind up then. So when we put in the headlights, when the bumper bar comes off, do we send it off for paint? We've still got this paint chip here to deal with as well. Don't know if we're going to brush touch this. Yet to see. Alright. Fresh Kelly's. Hectic. Alright. Take it easy. See you tomorrow. Let's go. Alright, legends, welcome back. So we're doing the final stages now of the VY before we chuck our shocks in and whack our new wheels on. We've almost got all the door cards on. I'll give you as a quick gaze. Check that out. Not bad, eh? So we've got Calais trims with the SS handles. We put our locks on, all that's working. We didn't install the lights. I don't want it to be too overkill, plus we're missing a cap on the other side. Good enough is good enough. That will match really nicely with the suede and the custom thing that we got going on with our steering wheel. So enough yapping. Let's get our last door card on. Then we're on to putting in the rear shocks, washing the car, giving it a detail while it's up high, put the wheels on, and then we'll buff the roof, bonnet, boot, swap the headlights, and then drop her on the ground. We've signed up for a car show this Sunday. To give you some context, today's Wednesday. This video is not even finished yet, so I'm gonna be pumping all day on the car, all night on the videos, rinse and repeat. Hopefully you guys see this video on a Friday night. If not, it'll be a late upload on Saturday, so make the most of the half decent weather. So at least it's not raining. It's actually going to be really easy for us to buff the car because it's not too warm. So let's get this door card on. I'll show you guys the complete interior. We're still waiting for Flex to come back and finish this relay, so we won't be chucking in the seats just yet. So let's get to it. For our bolts and all the other accessories for the door card. We got a sandwich bag and just wrote DS. The passenger side was PS. This one was RDS, rear driver side, and then RPS for the other side. So it just helps keep all your stuff organized when you're pulling everything off at once. Saves having it all in a bundle and then mismatching stuff. So little pro tip, please. Alright, so the thread was munched for that one, so we just ended up putting in a Phillips which is a little bit thicker. That done the trick, boys. Pop that little prong out, slide this between the grooves, Commodore tins. Now door card bolt, very important, so the door doesn't rattle when you pull this. My door handle's a bit of a tricky one. Got to have it closed all the way, tuck it back, and then pull the lever forward to make sure it gets the contact it needs. Beautiful. Alright, and now we'll just do a couple screws around the sides and then that's it. I'll show you guys what the trim looks like. Let's get to it. That is our Calais door cards on. We put the SS air vents here just to have that little silver surround to match everything else. The door handles here are meant to, I don't know what color they're meant to be on a Calais, but the door handles and the vents, they're all matching now. As you can see, we've got this Alcantara half trim all around here to match the Calais interior. We made sure to buy these when we bought the trim. So let's get our glove box on now, but we do have broken clips. We did order some new ones, so let's whack them on with the glove box and we'll call that the interior surrounds and trims done. And we'll just wait on Flex to come down and finish off this custom relay, just to make sure that this car doesn't munch through batteries more than it does fuel. Because the BCM from a Calais or VY Calais, whatever the interior is from, is programmed differently to the BCM in a VY SS. So even though the plugs and everything else we can rewire, we don't know how the BCM is going to communicate to that. So we want to make sure that we manually set up its own source of ground, so it only comes on when the reds come on, and then you can move your seat. It's not like the seat's going to be this far up to the steering wheel and you literally can't start the car, you know what I mean? You're going to jump in, the seat's going to be set, turn on the car, and then you can use your electrics. So that will be the better way to play it safe, and it will still look good and it will still work as according to factory. So yeah, all right, let's get to it. Let's do the glove box. All right, legends, so here is our fresh Calais glove box. What we're going to do is install our new glove box clips. Super simple. Now this pretty much just goes over the rail, so we'll make sure we just pop it over there. These two sections here we'll just clip straight onto that. Now we'll just keep these as spares for the next Commodore we do, because this is a common problem, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. And here we have a very important mod when doing SSSLs, extra low springs or choppies in your Commodore, or any sort of like Falcon Commodore. Super important to put in your car when you're lowering it is lowered shocks, because the base is shorter, so it only travels a certain amount instead of having a shock which is this tall and the travel amount is different. So it saves blowing the shocks 2 weeks after you put new springs in. We went straight for the Ultima extra low shocks, suited for when you go a 70mm drop. Alright, let's check these puppies out. Look at these for freshies. And they gave us some new bushes and stuff for the top, which is wicked. So what we'll do, we'll pull the old shock out, we'll compare the lengths, I'll show you guys the differences, and then we'll prime this a few times and then we'll chuck it in. Let's get to it. Now, since we already removed the bottom bolt for our shock, we're just going to have to go into the boot, remove the top, and then she's ready to come out. As you can see on this one, we've got one washer and then a bush, and then on the other side they'll probably be the same repeated process, a bush and a washer. So let's get this off, repeat the process, whack it back in, let's go. Got one there, got one here. Let's undo these, ratchet on top and a spanner on the bottom, crack that, and then we'll pull the shocks out. Let's go. Alright, so here is our old shock, somewhat okay, but still garbage. And then this is our fresh one. As you can see, the compensator difference for the drop, about this much, which is not much, but let's see how much they both bottom out at. So we'll go this one down all the way. Right, that's there. Get out of my way. Well, these do say big bore, so these are the ones that we need. Visually, I don't see too much of a difference, but obviously this one's still got ages to come up. But just by the feel of it, it feels a lot better, and this is going to ride so much better with our super slammed, well, not super slammed anymore. King Springs used to be good. Probably got in a fair bit of trouble selling it as an Australian product on Australian cars, always getting the good old-fashioned yellow label defects by our great police force. So probably King Springs had to step up their game and change the design of the SSSL King Springs. But before, it was pretty much just, yep, get SSSLs, whack them in your car's buried. But what's going to happen when people get pulled over? Oh, I just bought these, they told me they were going to be okay. And you know how many people probably repeated that? King Springs had enough of it and made something relatively borderline legal. Let's whack these new shocks in. We'll copy the same process as this one. Washer facing upwards and a smaller bush. Let's get our workbench back. Alright, so we'll chuck it in like that. And then this one will go on the top. I hope that's right. Let's whack this puppy in. Alrighty, now we got our lovely KHRL46 SSSL. So if you are wondering if your springs are a SSSL or a double SL, just double check the part numbers. Let's get this puppy open and check out our new springs. Lovely. These are our old springs and these are our new springs, boys. Look at that. That is juicy. Not bad. I reckon could still go a coil or two, but we'll be sensible. Let's clean this up as much as possible, just so we don't have any scratching sounds. I'm not going to get my hopes up over these springs, but it should look pretty decent. But I wouldn't say it's going to be absolutely buried or nothing. Normally people like to remove this one as well, because it is a little bit thick, so you do get some extra drop out of that. But we're just going to leave it. I don't want any scratching noises when the springs are moving back and forth. I'd rather them be seated properly. Top one we'll tuck into here, and then bottom one can just curl in there. Welcome to your new home, buddy. Now we're going to jack this up and try to line up the bottom of the shock to the hole so we can bolt the bottom of the shock in. Alright, so now that we got that on there nice and tight, the best thing about these lowered shocks, right, is when the weight is off the jack, like we'll drop the jack now. So top bolt is tightened and the bottom bolt is tightened too. See our SSSL King Springs? That's not going to pop out when the car's jacked up from the back, or if it goes over a really big bump, because some people would say that having SSSLs is dangerous. It can be when you're still running your stock shocks, because your stock shocks have a whole bunch more of travel compared to this. The distance of the shortened shock will be like this. The factory one will be all the way up here, And when the car's drooping, when it's jacked up or going up a big driveway, it gets up, spring pops out, and then boom, you have to pick up your spring and whack it back in on the side of the road. Can be dangerous, yes, but for us blokes that like to risk it for the biscuit, we send it. But for an extra 200 bucks, boys, two something, low 200s, get an extra crispy, brand new rear shock, which not only makes your ride quality so much better on SSSLs, you won't end up blowing your factory shock straight away, and it's safer because now the spring is seated in there, so whenever you're getting your car jacked up for your white walls or whatever, you don't have to worry about getting underneath and holding the spring intact. Now let's rinse and repeat for this side, and then it's wheels on, wash the car, buff it, detail it, and then drop it back on the ground. Let's get to it. Now we're gonna make our snow foam mix. So we've got this stuff here. We're gonna put about 200 mils to a litre. So we're only gonna put in 100 mil. The rest with water. There we go. We'll attach this to the end of our high pressure gurney after we put water in it. And now we are snow foam ready. Let's give these a quick sand, so at least whoever wants to buy them for 100 bucks or whatever, it will look better than probably what they've got on there. 1500 sandpaper. We're just going to soak these headlights up and just give it a bit of a run over. Let's get to it. There we go, boys. Good enough. Let's drop this down, get the gurney out, snow foam the car, and get ready to start masking up and detailing with whatever sunlight we do have left. I'll speed you guys through it. Let's get to it. And let's save this beautiful Cosmo purple paint job. Let's go. It is now about 4:30. We've probably got not even an hour left of daylight. Let's see if we can save this paint, especially on the roof, because it is really common. You guys have probably seen Cosmo purple VYs with like heaps of lines through the clear and it looks really grey and garbage. I reckon we're gonna have a good shot with this roof. I'll give you guys one last look at the car and then I'm on to taping up this side and then buffing it up. So let's get to it. Alright, all the masking tape is done for this side. Let's see how much we can smash up before we lose the sunlight. Let's get to it. I'll power you guys through this and you guys will see the car tomorrow when it's done. So I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully we can get this video edited so you guys can see this car before it goes to the car show in, if today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days, 3 days to finish the car and 2 days to get this video up and edited. Let's go. Boys, let's get to it. I'll see you in the morning.